Okay, for the purpose of my presentation, we are going to go over curriculum or instructional strategies for the art room. In this case, I will be going over the Socratic seminar in a little bit more detail. I've actually not gotten a lot of experience with these. I know this is something I've talked about before and I really want to implement with my critiques. I use Feldman's written formal critique very often, but I want to give more opportunity for speaking in the classroom that is student-led. And I would definitely I've included a time or two, but kind of going off prior knowledge with a lot of research just to kind of mock run things to see how students liked it, and they do. But I think I need to set up the expectation, and if I was going to do this more successfully in the future, I'd want to have certain materials developed that I could use in order to make it work. So this is what I found. Definitely a Socratic seminar is going to be facilitated as the teacher, so it is definitely a student-led form of instruction. Um, and it is something that you want to prep your students in advance. So I think it would be very important in the beginning to create some materials that you could use to set your expectations. What are the norms? What are the rules of Socratic seminar? Also, the expectations, how does it work? Make sure students are definitely prepped in that area. And what are the expectations? I definitely think those materials would need to be gone over in the beginning to make this successful. And then after that, I think you would want to try your first Socratic seminar, as you would expect. And then as the facilitator, I think you'd want to slowly take yourself away as the leader of that, just so that they can kind of be sure and confident. And then you can also kind of tell them, or I guess role model how to keep it going. Especially this would be nice if you had students that are already doing Socratic seminars. AP research is huge at our school, so Socratic seminars is a common practice. So I've actually had students kind of want to take that leadership role, which is great. But anyway, you might not have that with what you're working with. Step one is that you, the instructor, first after you've gone over your materials of how this works, I would probably do that in a PowerPoint or some sort of lecture presentation. I would have those materials already set up so the students could access those as they need to. And then as the instructor, let's say this is my first Socratic seminar, I'm going to choose some sort of text or a concept or even an artwork, or maybe it's either like prompting questions that the students will then begin by step two doing the research. And I think what I read mostly is the most important factor is to give students time to prepare. The more evidence and preparation they can do, the better their discussion will be, and the more serious that they'll take it. That is, that you are not facilitating this. This is up to them to keep it going. I did read something that said you should do some sort of seminar day, 5-minute, 10-minute warm-up with a prep check. If students are not prepared, don't let them participate, and set that boundary in the beginning so that it is something that they look forward to, they take ownership of, and they know what your expectation is and how you're going to grade them. So I would have some sort of rubric. Anyway, step number 3 is once students are ready and prepared, you are going to give any sort of questions again as advance so that they're prepared in advance. I think that kind of goes with the materials we discussed. Step number 4 would be your basic format would be setting the room. So how do you set the environment as the facilitator? One common practice is a huge circle, letting all students be equal. Another common practice is a fishbowl, where you would have an inner circle and an outer circle. Those that are of the inner circle are the speakers, and they're presenting evidence and comments and feedback as they move through the concept. And students on the outer circle are going to be taking notes. They're the recorders, and they do that silently. And then after a time period, those roles switch so that those that are speakers can become recorders and vice versa. And then I think probably some of the most important information is that you want to teach students the strategies that they need. So this could also go with your initial input that you give students on how a Socratic seminar is run. You could give them information that they could access on conversation strategies, communication skills, how to highlight key points, that they need to look for things while they're in the Socratic seminar, and that would be maybe insightful feedback or comments that are made and other questions that could spark further research. So I think what I also read with any of these Socratic seminars is that it's a learning experience. You are the facilitator, your students will grow, they will become better. If it is a norm for the classroom, it can become something that they look up to. I think it would be great for them to have leadership in this kind of way with their education or their thinking process. It helps them become critical thinkers of the information that they're learning. So I think it is a great experience, and I hope to get this going just like I do with my Feldman's written critique. I think they've really grown over the years with this process. I love it, but I wanted to give another opportunity for meaningful speaking in the classroom, not just your critiques can sometimes go in the wrong direction or they become short and sweet. I want to be able to have other speaking opportunities for students to really kind of get into some bigger concepts, and they begin to take leadership over the research and sharing of that information with one another. So a community of learners, which is awesome. Um, and that is pretty much it. So all my other notes are up there. If you have any other questions, let me know. There's a lot of research about Socratic seminars. I haven't really got into looking for research information. I've really focused on the Feldman side of things. So I think I'm going to start to look for a little bit more research studies to take me into the end of the master's program that I can implement that into my papers. So thank you. I appreciate it.